Welcome to the MILCOM Founders Podcast, where we champion and celebrate military community entrepreneurs. Today, we're honored to feature Odie Gray, a disabled military veteran, seasoned cybersecurity professional, and accomplished businessman with 2 decades of experience. As a thought leader in business program development and digital transformation, Odie has delivered strategic value by creating new cybersecurity services and leading global teams to strengthen programs at top-tier organizations. Stay tuned as we explore his insights, his impact, and the hard-earned expertise shaping his success.
Welcome to the MILCOM Founders Podcast, where we champion and celebrate military community business founders. In each episode, we will talk with a MILCOM business founder to learn how they work through various obstacles and opportunities in business and in life. I'm your host, Rod Loches. Let's meet today's guest. MILCOM Founders Forum Podcast, where we champion and celebrate military community business owners. I'm your host, Rod Loches. Today, I'm excited to celebrate and champion Odie Gray, an Army veteran and founder of Dominus Gray and the president of the Diversity Cyber Council. I'm really looking forward to learning more about Odie's journey as a military community founder. Welcome to the show, Odie.
Absolutely, Rod. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to be here with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it very much. So tell us, who is Odie Gray on a personal level? What should we know about Odie?
That's a deep question. And I'll say Odie Gray is a man with a vision, doing everything within my power to have it manifest. The goal is to be able to provide equity and a better experience for people who grew up where I grew up and face similar dilemmas in life. So that's who I am.
Very cool. We'll look forward to getting more into that in a little bit here. That's for sure. So, Odie, when you're not working with your two endeavors, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing?
I spend a lot of time in the gym. That's my second home. I love to travel. I just came back from Peru. Visited Machu Picchu, which is a great experience. I highly recommend it. I'm also a writer in my free time. So I like to write, like to read, and really just like to hang out and just be chill.
Very cool. Well, Machu Picchu is such I've never been there yet. But what drew you to going there? Why Machu Picchu? What a cool place.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and I would say it was a non-typical destination for me. I said, where can I go that wouldn't be typical? Something that's going to expand my my horizon, and I chose there. I'm so glad I did. Peru is actually one of the most beautiful countries I've ever visited. Like, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. And did you do the kind of trip where you had to ruck through the forest to get there?
Yeah, it was an excursion. I had a guide, and the elevation there, I thought I was a pretty fit guy, but the elevation, you feel it. It takes some getting used to. So I can't even say it was the downside of the trip. It was just a part of the experience.
That's very cool. Very cool. And congratulations and thank you for doing that. We need I love adventures, and I think getting outside of ourselves and meeting people that are literally we're not going to meet in Houston or Washington, D.C., and those experiences just make the whole world a better place. It just does.
I think traveling is the truest form of education, and I got to give credit to the military for exposing me to that.
Yeah, once you start traveling, it's hard to bring that back, I'm going to the Philippines in October, so I'm looking forward to that. That's for sure.
Okay. Oh, you'll have a great time. October is my birthday month, and I actually went about 3 years ago. So
you went to the Philippines?
Yes.
And how long were you there?
I was there for about a week. One of the coolest memories is going through this waterfall. I can't even tell you where it was, but we Yeah, it was it's the islands there are awesome and just the scenery, it's like it's indescribable. You got to see it yourself. You'll love it.
Well, you'll have to find out where that waterfall is and tell me because I'm a water nut. I love the water.
Okay.
You can find me in, on, or near the water all the time.
Yeah,
So I will, hopefully you can share that with me.
I
That'd be
got you.
great.
How do you feel about scuba diving?
Love it.
Me
Love it.
too.
Yeah.
Certified PADI, open water.
Okay. Me too. Me too. My wife, Jen, she started a nonprofit to take wounded warriors diving. And she did that maybe 15 years ago. And she said the best thing about that was it's before we were a couple, but she said the best thing about it was those men and women that get in the water, they would find peace and they would find
Mhm.
comfort and joy. And she loved doing it as long as she could. She had some medical challenges that disallowed her from doing that any further, but it
Mhm.
was magical for her to be able to share those moments with
Yeah,
the wounded warriors. That's for
yeah.
sure.
All divers know that there's something surreal about that experience to breathe underwater and
Uh-huh.
just, be in the environment with the fishes and all the marine life. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I'll have to tell you the shark story some other time. But it was amazing. So, a reader and a writer. Well, the easy one is to ask you about your reading.
Mm.
Um, okay, but let me ask you about the hard one, the writing. Tell me about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, writing is my first love, actually, and I got started at a young age. I was published at age 11, um, and I I've been taking a long break from writing, but I do it as a hobby in my spare time. So I don't do it as a professional writer. I just do it as a release. I think it's important to sit with yourself and find ways to be creative and find ways to, I would say, really you know, explore your own emotions and explore your own mind. And I have yet to find a better way to do that than writing.
I bet.
'Cause you can be highly analytical, you can be um, sci-fi, you can be creative, you can whatever your mind can think of, you can put it to paper. And you don't have to necessarily be good at it, just do something that you like. That's how
Uh-huh.
writing really starts. Um, I think a lot of people navigate away from it because they want to be the greatest writer ever, when really being the greatest writer ever is fulfilling what you need first.
Yeah, that's really cool. Helps you. It sounds like it's very well. I need to do more writing, but I know when I do it, it's very therapeutic, very helpful, clarifying. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you write short stories or have you written what's your preferred genre?
You name it, I've dipped a toe in it. Everything from short stories, poetry, sonnets, like it's whatever I'm called to create is what I do.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And as you've gone through life, um, what's a personal challenge that you've overcome and that's made you stronger, better, um, whatever the case may be.
I think one of the biggest personal challenges that I had to overcome was um, healing from a lot of the wounds that were created early on in life. Um, I had a pretty tough childhood, and then going from that into service, not having enough time to process or not ever be given the tools to process, um, you know, how I started life, and then me going into a very uh, rigorous and demanding profession. Um, it it took me some time and later on in life to finally sit down and say, okay, I just kind of stormed through all of this, never took a moment to digest, to process what what I want to be and who I am from those experiences. So I think it's important. It was really important for me to say what was influence, what was miseducation, what was indoctrination, and what is it that I would like to be in the state of being moving forward.
Yeah, that make, um, you're a heck of a lot younger than me, but I give you a lot of credit for deciphering some of those things that will bring you peace and comfort for the rest of your life. That's pretty cool. You know what you made me think of. There's an old saying that says, "Warriors go on to be statesmen if they allow themselves." And you can only be a warrior for so long because of physical and other things. But if you grow out of being a warrior, you can become a statesman and help more people than you could even as a warrior. And that's what I hear your transition reminding me of. And that's pretty cool and powerful, quite frankly, Odie.
That's on target. And I think that's what's led me to start the nonprofit Diversity Cyber Council to see how I can serve outside of my military service, what type of impact I could make, you know, um, outside of serving in that capacity as a warrior.
Absolutely. So we're going to get to that in a second, but I want to ask, so I think the writing probably brings you peace, but what else do you do to take care of yourself? You said you spend time in the gym. Those two things are probably a great start. Is there anything else that you do to take care of yourself and make sure everything's squared away?
Yeah, meditation and mindfulness. Truly finding time out your day, whether if it's the first 15 minutes as soon as you wake up or the last 15 minutes before you go to sleep, to just meditate on what you want to accomplish and then embrace an energy of gratitude. I became aware that, again, I think where a lot of us are put in a mode of automation to just go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, without little pause, to again process. So I take time when I first wake up and before I go to sleep to really just be thankful, right? Because being a military veteran, um, we know how bad things could get. So when you wake up in a comfortable bed and you have all your necessities met, um, it's it's I think it's important to take in that energy and breathe deep and just be grateful. You know what I mean? Uh, just to put a bow on that, I think I spend a lot of my time. I forget how the analogy works, but I remember reading something about someone had it was their birthday and they had a birthday cake and one slice was missing and cried the whole day because that one slice wasn't there, missing the fact that they still had 3/4 of a birthday cake, right? I think I'll just speak for myself. A lot of my life had been focused on that missing piece instead of what I had. So now I'm very conscious and intentional about saying, hey, even if a piece is missing from my cake, I still have a pretty big cake.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It really is that perspective and what you choose and how, a lens of gratitude or not. And that can make the difference to a whole day, a whole week, or a whole life,
Yeah.
It really can. Our boat, we're boaters. And so our most recent boat was named Grateful. How are we going to share the gratitude and with more than just ourselves and be grateful for what we have. So absolutely. It's interesting that you say that. That's pretty cool. So how, why, when did you join the military? What was the attraction?
Yeah, I think I had a non-traditional entry into my military service. Again, I had a rough upbringing. I was kicked out of high school. So I was pretty much faced with an option to military service or I don't even know what the other option was. It really wasn't much of a path, given
Uh-huh.
that I had got kicked out of high school. But again, I think some things happen in life that are almost fated to a degree. Of course, I chose the military. I could have chose the other way, but I think it was fated for me to serve, and how much I learned um, as as a soldier, as a warrior, as a person in the military. It really grew me. Um, so yeah, it was a matter of stay in this situation with little options, little to no options, or take a chance on yourself and um and serve the country. So you know what I chose.
Yeah, absolutely. So you joined the army and you're what, 18, probably 19, maybe?
Yep, 18.
Got it. Okay. And what did you do in in the army? What was your MLS? What did you
So I started off in flight ops. Um, I was
oh,
kind of bamboozled into thinking I would also be a pilot. That didn't happen. So I think like my second or third year in, I was like, all right, let me do 25 Bravo, which was information security and what I do now. So that's why again,
oh,
I feel like so much was faded about me joining, because that was the foundation for sure.
so you were in flight ops and then something happened. It's probably in E3. You had the opportunity to go into InfoSec or what?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
That's really cool. And where did you go for the InfoSec training?
Um, Fort Gordon in
Fort Gordon.
Augusta, Georgia.
Got it. Wow, not a bad place to be stationed.
Yeah,
That's
well, small town, but due to the military installation, things get a little lively at times.
uh-huh. Very true. Very true. And then are you still in the reserves or
No, no, I've been out since about 2013.
got it? Okay, very cool. Well, thank you for your service.
Likewise.
So so tell me, what's military learning, a learning that you had in the military that you've been able to apply and use? What did the military gift you or teach you? I mean, I know InfoSec, uh, but what's an insight or concept that you've often used and relied on that you learned in the military?
By far is lead by example. I had so many great leaders that I've experienced directly and indirectly in my time of service. And the main principle that resonates with me is lead by example. And I think that expands beyond just leading when the light is on you, but also when no one's looking. You know, it's really um, convenient to be a star leader when all eyes are on you, but um, when you're doing the right thing and nobody's looking, when you're doing the right thing, when it doesn't necessarily benefit you in that particular situation, I think that there's something really courageous about that. Um, and I've seen a lot of people that I view as leaders operate in that capacity.
Hmm. That's a great point. Is are you going to lead when the lights aren't on? That's a fantastic point, Odie.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, well, you're in InfoSec in the military, and now you have, make sure I got this right. You have Dominus Gray, and you have the Cyber Diversity Council. Is that right?
Diversity Cyber Council. Yeah. Dominus Gray is a consulting company that I started, and we're continuing to grow and to expand. We predominantly focus on compliance readiness services. So, being able to perform assessments, determine where our clients' maturity is, and then help build a roadmap to further that maturity. Then Diversity Cyber Council is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit where we help people from underserved communities and underrepresented professionals learn technology skills so they can become viable entry-level technology professionals, and transition their career or be able to start their career.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think, which one should we start with? They're both pretty cool. Let's start with Dominus Gray.
Okay.
Uh, so you're working with what size organizations? Are they government contractors, government agencies? Who's your target audience?
Really, the target audience is any companies that require CMMC certification, FedRAMP certification, or if they want to comply with certain cyber frameworks like NIST, ISO, um, things of that nature.
Simple, easy stuff, right?
Well, it depends. It can get really complex depending on the size of your organization, your services, your actual architecture. As it relates to cybersecurity compliance, things are about to get a lot more interesting because we're going to see more enforcement at the federal and state level.
Yeah.
For instance, I reside in Texas. There's something called the Texas Cybersecurity Act that was enacted, I think, in 2020 or 2021. It hasn't been highly enforced yet, but it's expected to be in the next year or two. So
Wow.
it had a 5 to 7 year buffer. And with that, it's going to catch a lot of businesses off guard,
Yeah.
right? So being able to invest in our services will help you prepare for I would say, the required cyber regulation
Yeah.
you need to comply with in order to remain in business.
Yeah, I mean, and the cybersecurity is, it's not, and you know the story, it's not if, it's when we're hacked.
Mhm.
And what do we do to mitigate the 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 consequences thereafter? And how do we get back online? How do we get those rascals out of our networks? And it is a huge problem that is only going to grow. Even, I mean, the old what's the new passwordless tools, but you know they're not even implemented through half the organizations yet. It's crazy.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of work to do. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So, now tell me about your nonprofit. Why, how, and what? Again and again. And Odie, you've seen it. So many men and women we talk to that are veteran founders are also giving back, and you're one more shining example of that. So I'd love to drill more down into that. Tell me how many people, how does it work? What's the outcome when you do a good job in the nonprofit? All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, me starting the nonprofit was really homage to my military service. When I look back, the main thing that always kind of is nostalgic for me is the camaraderie
Mm-hmm.
um in my time of service. And you know as well as I do, Rod, you have people from all different backgrounds, cultures, all that. It doesn't matter. We all come together at the end of formation. We hang out, we have some beverages
Yeah, we do that.
and we tell stories. We eat good and you know, we you know, we I think it's a different experience than being a civilian.
Yeah,
There's a lot of barriers that, I mean, they can exist in the military, but they're not as prominent, you know,
yeah,
and that camaraderie is what the basis ideology of Diversity Cyber Council is that we're stronger together. I'm fully aware that there's a lot of backlash with DEI terms with the current administration. But I think that again, it from my experience, it it gave us great power to serve together and bring us all together as one. So that's where Diversity Cyber Council comes in to say, hey, if you want to learn this thing, let's learn it together. Let's build this workforce together, and let's be greater together. So that's that's pretty much how
And be
is
grateful together
attached.
too, you know? That's
Huh?
and be grateful together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Celebrate
Absolutely.
together. Yeah, it's Odie, I guess a year ago when I joined IVMF at first, um, I started bringing, or Henry Bond got me to bring a bottle of scotch. And that's how the whole lower level thing that you were part of last time.
Yeah.
And that camaraderie is just magical. And I come home from those events, I'm like tired as heck, but I'm like, wow, re-energized, reconnected. And to be honest, I forgot about being a veteran for 20 years. Okay, just wasn't part of my lexicon. Wasn't, and I volunteered to teach a class for a group of veteran founders. I says, oh my gosh, I where why haven't I been involved? Why haven't I helped? And that was about 7 years ago, and I've just been very grateful ever since then, reconnecting with great men and women like yourself. So
Mhm.
it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, we're a really interesting bunch, and when you put us all together in one building, uh, it's one of those things. You know if you know,
Yeah,
and all veterans know, and it's just a different feel, different energy when we get around each other. It feels like family. You know what I mean? So I'll always be nostalgic about um those moments while
yeah.
I serve.
Do you remember Nefertari Strickland from the
Oh, of
from the event?
course. Yeah.
So Nefertari and I are both the regional ambassadors for IVMF for the Mid-Atlantic area, and she and I talk every Thursday morning, catch up, and what a wonderful experience that has been.
Mhm.
In fact, I need to have her on the podcast. Boy,
Mhm.
she is so eloquent, and it's been a gift to get to know her and quite frankly learn from her. It's been really really cool. That's for sure. So
Absolutely. She's awesome.
so what's an opportunity or obstacle? This is what happens is when I enjoy talking with somebody like yourself, Odie, is I just want to ask more questions. So, but we'll wrap it up in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I promise.
All
But
good.
tell me about that opportunity obstacle in your business or your nonprofit that other veteran business founders can learn from and appreciate, maybe relate. What's one of those opportunities or obstacles you've overcome?
What I would like to make the new normal is that we exercise mergers earlier on in our business. Um, there are so many other cybersecurity consulting companies that are my size and have similar capacity that I would prefer to merge with than continue to build on my own in a silo. I think if we can be more intentional about saying, hey, let's take these five, businesses that are all in the same industry, let's merge them together, and then let's give them a grant, for $1 million over 4 years, so they get 250,000 a year. I think we'll see more small business growth leveraging that approach than we do in a lot of the quote unquote entrepreneurial programs that teach founders um, to wear multiple hats.
Uh-huh.
And I know that's kind of like the standard that's kind of perpetuated, but I don't, as a founder, as a CEO, I don't think you're meant to have to wear 10 different hats and be an expert at 10 different things. My goal is to recruit people who are highly passionate about what they do and then assign them into my business to deliver on that need. right?
Mm-hmm.
Not stand in their way, not micromanage them, but say, hey, you said you're really great at thing X, right? Well, we need thing X at Dominus Gray. Come on, do what you do, and then own it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think those are the two main things: is leveraging mergers more often for small businesses, and then reducing the amount of hats founders have to wear by recruiting high value talent.
Yeah. Boy, I think that's some very interesting and I'll say selfless thinking because I think you're right. What they say, we go further
Together.
together, and that's your thinking there, and I get that and support that. It's how do you allow your team members to excel at what they're uniquely good at? And oftentimes, when I hire somebody who's especially younger in their career or new to their career, even if they're have gray hairs like I do, is find out where their unique skills and gifts are and put them in a position to allow them to use those gifts uniquely valuable to them and the company. And find those. I can go through 10 different examples, but that's what's really cool when you see a team member grow and be able to give that gift even beyond your own organization after they leave and whatever, and you see them growing. It's just really cool to that's quite the win I think that we get when we see that. And I'm sure with your nonprofit, when you see people go through that and learn new skills and
Yeah, all the time. And that's what keeps me so motivated to continue. We see, for instance, single mothers raising their family, take our program, learn the skills, and now they're making, 3, 4 times that they did before graduating. So yeah, it's a transformative effect. And I I also think that Diversity Cyber Council and other similar organizations are going to be so necessary to fill the workforce gaps that are going to be um, pretty obvious coming up here. By 2030, a lot of low skill positions are going to be automated by technology. So by not having a technology skill, you're not as employable as you could be, right? So that's why we really hyper focus on underserved communities, underrepresented professionals, people who don't traditionally go into the tech fields, because we see that's where the equity is needed to bridge
mm-hmm,
those gaps.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's we have an accounting and fractional CFO company, but we tell people now when they come to work with us, if you don't know AI and automation, i.e. software automation, how to integrate software, how to make them work together, I call them snapplications, be able to snap them together. This is probably not the right place for you to work because you got to be ready, willing, and able to learn and grow technically. It's not just enough to know the accounting or the finance. You got to know automation and AI because
Mhm.
that's just part of the business today. Much more important than a 4-year degree is
Yeah,
learning how to learn and learning how to implement those technologies as force multipliers. Uh,
absolutely.
is what they've got to be. That's for sure. So, um, how did you? It's really interesting because how did you learn to become a coachable founder? It's obvious that you are a coachable founder, but how did you learn that? Was that the military, or I shouldn't put words in your mouth?
Yeah, I think it definitely the military created the opening, the doorway to be coachable. Because before the military, I wasn't so coachable. Then also my fondness of reading. I've learned so much from authors that I've read, probably far more
Yeah.
taking that approach than I have a lot of my academic classes. But mainly knowing that I don't have all the answers. I don't know. It's impossible to know everything, right? So starting at that point, but also having the awareness that there is something unique that I offer based on my experience that can't be duplicated or replicated or even emulated when it's authentic, right? So finding a way to harmonize those two principles of saying, I don't know everything, yet I do know my perception or perspective on how to do this one thing can be a value driver, right? So let me learn as much as I can as it relates to business, and then let me apply my lens and then have that manifest. So
Very cool. So if you were to give a word of advice to a potential veteran founder, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business, or a young, early business owner, what's those words of advice and insight you would share with another business owner, a potential business
being an entrepreneur is not a profession, it's a lifestyle. All right. So it's something that you're committing your life to. You're committing to be a lifelong learner. You're committing to grow and to develop and to stretch yourself to
owner?
grow. So take all the sexy appeal away from what you think being an entrepreneur is. And one, focus on solving a problem and committing to being a problem solver
Yeah.
For your tenure as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. Good insights, that's for sure. We're wrapping up here soon, so hang in there with me. What resources, you were just talking about this, interestingly enough, have you found helpful? What books or podcasts you say you got to read, you got to listen to? This person's great. What are some of those that you found very helpful?
Yeah, from good to great is one of my favorites. My all-time favorite is E-Myth Revisited.
Yes.
That's a really good book. I read a lot of psychology books as well. The way the consumer mind works is just so interesting. So definitely do your research on your target customers, figure out why they like to buy, what are their patterns of behavior, and tapping into that data and applying it will make you so successful. Um, but yeah, and your network is so important. Get out of your comfort zone, meet people. Don't take the rejections personally because they will be plenty. But it's okay. Rejection is redirection. So
Say it
don't
again.
take
That's
it
a great
personally.
one.
Re-
That's
reje-
a,
Rejection is definitely redirection.
rejection is redirection. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
redirect your efforts and energies. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't spend a lot of your time banging on that door that's already proven it won't open. Like, I think that's what caught me off guard early on. It's like, maybe if I'm just persistent enough with this one opportunity, maybe it'll come.
Yeah.
But no, focus on being undeniable. Focus on um, being in spaces that value you. That is so important. Like there are some there are some spaces that simply won't acknowledge your value, and it is a waste of your time, energy, and greatness to continue to remain stuck in those places, thinking that they'll
Yeah.
acknowledge you one day. No, just
Odie,
go somewhere else.
the gentleman I just did a conversation with prior to you was just telling the opposite side of that story, where he
Mm,
did walk away from a huge opportunity because he felt he and his company weren't going to be appreciated,
mm,
and so he walked away from that opportunity, and it opened up a new opportunity for him,
mhm.
and it's worked out great. So it's like you two were having the same conversation, like we were all three part of that same conversation. That's really cool.
It's so true. And as a life lesson, I kind of I live by the idea that I'd rather be disliked for who I really am than loved for who I am not, because I'll never be able to remove that mask.
Uh-huh.
Right? I'll be confined to wearing that mask. So that's why authenticity is so important, and that's why going where you're valued is so important, because it's like, okay, even if this is a $10 million opportunity, if they're doing it out of an obligation, or they're not doing it with the right energy, I'm going to be locked into this experience. Yeah, making $10 million is great, but what is
At
the
what cost?
experience of making $10 million versus making $500,000 and feeling alive every time I go to work, feeling
Yeah,
motivated, feeling energized, So yeah, you have to choose. Don't chase
yeah,
money. It'll come
absolutely.
to you.
Odie, I hope millions of people hear this podcast, but if even one of them does,
Yeah.
who's that client or prospect that they need to send to you? What's that most MVP client look like or prospect look like?
On the nonprofit side, employers that want to diversify their workforce and really are willing to be accountable, right, to hiring with intention. Our graduates are great, right? They walk away not with just technical skills, but we teach them financial literacy, leadership development, career readiness. So you're getting a viable technology professional if you choose to hire from our graduate pool. So employers of any size, also any potential sponsors or donors who want to support our mission, that is always welcome. On the Dominus Gray consulting cybersecurity side, anyone who is interested in FedRAMP, CMMC, or just beefing up their cybersecurity posture, um, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation and see what we can do in terms of adding value to your organization.
Absolutely. Thank you. What's next for you in your business? What's the next big opportunity?
What's next for me? So I'm currently involved in a few entrepreneur programs here in Houston and the state of Texas. So continuing to grow, to expand, add value, and yeah, it's just really all exciting.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, all right. Last question. Who's another military community founder that inspires you or that you know of that you respect and like?
Hmm. Erica Dobbs.
Erica
Uh,
Dobbs?
yes,
Uh-huh.
I can make an intro if you need. But
What?
she runs a cybersecurity company and she's big time. She's awesome. So I gotta shout her out for sure.
Uh-huh. Awesome. And what's the name of her business?
Ah, Dobbs Solution. She's gonna fight me if I get this wrong.
Uh,
Something Dobbs Solutions. I'll send it to you.
yeah, okay. Very
I
cool.
got you.
Very cool.
Erica, don't beat me up. My bad.
That's right. Hey, what's one question I haven't asked you yet that I should have?
Ooh, oh man, you really you asked a lot of great questions. Nothing comes to mind off top. Because I think you covered everything really well rounded.
Well, I tell you why I asked so many questions is because I enjoyed our conversation. I have a lot to learn from you, and I look forward to getting to know you better at this next IVMF fly-in and figuring out how we champion and celebrate other great veteran founders. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And likewise, you reach out to me anytime. I'll be here for support, right? You already know.
I appreciate it, Odie. Natalie's going to join us just real quick for any cleanup conversations or little details there, and look forward to getting this out to the world. It's a great conversation, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the MILCOM Founders Podcast. If you know a MILCOM founder with a story to share, reach out to us at milcomfounders.com. For each guest on our show, One Degree Financial donates $100 to the Dick Logis Veteran Entrepreneur Scholarship Fund, supporting education for children of a MILCOM business owner. Stay ready.